Okay, so it seems like we have a little bit of an update on the entire SAG-AFTRA voice actor kind of saga that's been going on, and this is about the agreement that's been reached. If you guys saw in my last video, I talked about SAG-AFTRA actually, getting to an agreement with some video game companies about, the fact that there's a tentative agreement reached, and this is to do with AI protection. This is to do with some other stuff as well, to kind of protect voice actors in the future and offer them a better experience overall. Now, obviously, this is kind of blown up massively due to the fact of a lot of, voice actors crashing out over online and making the SAG-AFTRA movement look even worse. And obviously, a lot of people are just very happy to see that a lot of the voice actors are going to be finally back. At least the good ones are going to be finally back. Now, in this video, I kind of wanted to go through a lot of the responses from creators and also from some voice actors who are pretty big in the industry, because I thought it would be a very interesting thing to look at the absolute difference of responses that we're having from this, because this actually hasn't hit Genshin Impact. I spent the entire video yesterday explaining that this agreement does not really affect anything that's going on in Genshin Impact due to the fact that this is a almost separate strike that happened in parallel with this one, which again, it's not actually a strike, it's just a refusal to work. And obviously, that means there's probably not going to be as many voice actors returning to work. Now, this might mean there's going to be a little bit less pressure on some of the voice actors to continue not coming into work, and instead, now that this strike is gone, they'll just go in anyways, because there is less people out there ready to kind of throw you up on a stake if you do actually decide to do any voice acting whatsoever. So again, it's going to be interesting to see which voice actors do decide to come back and which ones decide to still refuse to work, because I think after this is over, Hoyoverse is probably going to go on a little bit of a firing spree if they don't return to work, because obviously it's getting a little bit ridiculous to this point, and the main kind of goal of the Hoyoverse kind of refusal to work is to get them to turn union, which just never is happening. We heard Corina Boettger, the voice actor for Paimon, obviously saying the fact that they won't be coming back to the game unless they go union, which again is very good news, because again, we probably won't be seeing her anytime soon. Now, this is the first post I saw from Brown Online, actually kind of quote retweeting Sam Slade, saying, since Hoyoverse isn't part of this, obviously I'm curious if voice actors that were refusing to work until Hoyo became union will continue to refuse or decide to come back. No, time will tell, which definitely is true. And then this is Sam Slade, who is the voice actor for Firefly, I'm pretty sure, and also Armby in Xenosaga Zero. They say, for anyone confused about what this means but don't want to read the post, here's the headline, I got you. And essentially, they do actually, highlight a lot of the companies that have been, agreed upon. And this is Activision, which obviously, they make stuff, for example, like Call of Duty. We've got Blind Light. I don't know what they exactly make. Disney. I mean, we all know what Disney is. Electronic Arts. So EA, literally any EA game. Epic Games, which obviously, I mean, they made one of probably the biggest games in the world. Formosa, Insomniac Games, Take-Two Productions, WB Games have all reached a tentative agreement. So those are all the companies that are involved in this agreement. Obviously, as you know, Hoyoverse are not there. No Chinese companies, I don't think, are there at all. And obviously, they say until such agreement is reached, SAG-AFTRA members will remain on strike against these employers. So they haven't just literally just turned around and went, okay, back to work. Time to get back to doing things. No, obviously there's going to be a little bit of a time in between whenever they get that finalized, which is great for the voice actors that are, going on strike against these companies. But obviously, again, as I said, it doesn't change anything in the Hoyoverse space really, unless these voice actors actually step up and do something. Obviously, people saying, could I ask how this affects games like Hoyo, since they're non-union? And people wouldn't have signed and said, I'm not a SAG member, so I don't have answers to question about the union's policies. Sorry, an actor's decision to withhold work is a personal choice. You'd have better luck asking the actor directly, which obviously, yeah, is definitely true. I mean, I didn't know Sam Slade was non-union, or no, not part of SAG, sorry. I don't know what union they are part of. But again, we've got another kind of response here from Alejandro Sub, who voices Sino. Again, very, very big voice actor in the space, and very, very popular, saying, hooray, sorry. Again, people are happy this happened, but again, I don't think this really affects Hoyoverse games at all. And I thought it was interesting that these voice actors are speaking up, like Sam Slade, like Alejandro Saab, some of the big Hoyoverse voice actors. But do you know one of the big Hoyoverse voice actors which isn't speaking up about any of these agreements is Corina Boettger. it seems like Corina Boettger, for some reason, has been very, very quiet on this. You know, they've been very, very quiet on the strikes that have been going on, despite how much they've been very vocal about it over the past couple of days. They seem to have taken to Twitter just to talk about a lot of the kind of ice stuff that is going on over in California at the moment, which obviously is absolutely terrible. But obviously, you know, there's a bigger thing that has actually happened recently that Corina has been very, very much involved in, and even single-handedly caused a lot of people to hate SAG-AFTRA and the movement. And it's just silence. As soon as there's an agreement reached with some of these companies, it's just silence, which I think is kind of funny. I know obviously it doesn't really change much of the kind of Genshin Impact side of things and the Hoyoverse side of things, but you know, even reaching some kind of agreement and making progress towards a lot of voice actors coming back, and they say absolutely nothing. I mean, that just kind of shows you where Corina is at whenever it comes to this kind of stuff. I mean, they do not care at all. They don't care. I mean, if they are not posting about this, if they are not talking about this, they clearly don't care enough about what is going on with SAG-AFTRA and these strikes to, you know, not even make a tweet about it. You know, it's kind of crazy. I say a tweet, what do they call it on Blue Sky? Like a blue sky or a blue, whatever you call it. Obviously, yeah, they have been retweeting a couple of things, for example, like some other anti-union things. It's just people getting even more and more mad at anti-union stuff. So one funny anti-union talking point I want to see is, yes, I want AI protections, but not with SAG, which wants to secretly write evil things in their contracts. Like, this is like 12 hours ago. Like, bro, they've reached an agreement. They reached an agreement, bro. And again, you know, they're just trying to post even more hateful stuff and negative things in the community, despite them, you know, creating a kind of agreement. Obviously, it hasn't changed anything for Hoyoverse, as I said, but, you know, there should still be some positive sides to this. Obviously, they're reposting other things. Oh, this post is now gone as well, by the way. So, again, it's kind of weird, and I thought it was weird how Corina has not kind of talked about this at all. You know, they're just talking about other random things, despite how much they've been involved, despite the interview that they did with Paper Bag Boy and how much they wanted to get involved with this. But as soon as there's nothing to complain about, as soon as there's, you know, some kind of progress, they stay completely silent because they want to complain about something. You know, that they are a complainer. They want to be like, oh, this sucks, my life sucks, everything sucks. And that's just how it is. And as soon as it figures itself out, you go, oh, well, this is better now, and this is better now. Well, they're just not going to talk about it because, again, they can't complain, they can't get the attention that they want to, and, well, it's just kind of dumb, you know? And overall, I thought it was a little bit weird that, you know, the kind of, I guess, difference in reactions from some of these voice actors, and, you know, obviously Corina being such a large part of what has gone on and, you know, everything that's gone on. I would expect, you know, them to be extremely happy that this has happened, but it seems like, you know, there's been kind of radio silence on it, which I thought was extremely funny. And obviously, yeah, this is the entire kind of article that came out saying SAG-AFTRA and video game employees reached tentative agreement on interactive media contract, national board to review. So again, you know, there is a little bit of time in between whenever this, you know, agreement has been reached and whatever, and, you know, when voice actors can actually go back to work. So there probably will be a separate day, which I'll 100% cover when that does happen, when a lot of the voice actors will go back to work and they will continue working for these specific companies. But I'll obviously continue to, you know, keep an eye on the entire Hoyoverse situation at the moment to see if any voice actors from there actually go back and we start to see more voice characters. Because, bro, Genshin Impact has been getting pretty bad right now with the voice acting, with everything they're doing with Dan's Live, everything like that. It's terrible, and it's horrible to see that, you know, the game's been ruined by all of these characters which just don't have a voice at all, and it's for like a story game that, you know, voice acting is supposed to be a big part of. It's pretty terrible to see, and obviously it ruins the experience for a lot of people. So I hope, you know, I hope that they do improve that, because as much as I don't really play Genshin Impact and dislike it now, you know, it kind of sucks for a lot of the players that wanted a decent story with some actual decent voice acting without the characters being mute and you just reading it like a visual novel. But yeah, essentially that is the update on, you know, what is going on at the moment. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, because I thought it was very interesting, and, you know, maybe you have a kind of opinion on what Corina has to say about it, what all of these voice actors have to say about it, because again, it has been a pretty mixed reaction of what's going on. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.